Hi, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Cry But Don't Quit Show. I'm your host, India Miles, and today we have another guest with us who's going to be sharing her self-worth challenge for us all to collectively learn from. Nicole, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Nicole Lopez. I am the salon owner of Radiant Society Studios and Hair and Beauty by Nikki L. And I come here today just trying to express to you what's going on in my business and in my world. And I'm finding myself just giving away my what's valuable to me. You know, my time, my services, all the things that I consider valuable to me. And I'm the first one to volunteer, the first one to pay the bills or offer money and donate and doing all those things because I feel like I'm pouring into those relationships because at some point in time, they're going to pour back into me if I ever need them. And I'm realizing that in doing so, I am having a high expectation and getting disappointed, right? So I don't necessarily know where that comes from, but I feel like it's the way I've been raised to always give and to be of service is how I see myself valued. And I'm finding myself digging in my own pockets to compensate for people or things or my businesses, and I'm having short changes on that, and I'm struggling right now because of that,
I love this topic. I was so looking forward to this one because it ties in the financial implications of self-worth. And when I think about women who often struggle with self-worth, it shows, like, I joke with my husband about this, that I don't want to offer any coaching programs for self-worth clients because they're not the clients to pay you $1,000 a month. It's normally business coaching or more tangible results. Self-worth is so intangible and such a long journey that oftentimes you can't quantify it. And what you're describing is you're making an investment. And that's the term you use.
Yeah.
And those of us that are financially literate on what it looks like to make an investment means that there's a strategy. Means that you are putting something of value in, expecting a return on that investment. But as we deep dived into why you're doing that, we learned that it started at childhood. It started with this dynamic where you essentially had to do more to get the same love and the same appreciation than your siblings, right?
Absolutely. So I think being raised in a Latin home, my mom and my dad just instilled us: if you go to someone's home, you leave it better off than when you entered it. Or if you do a job, you don't just do it 100%; you do it 120%. Always go above and beyond. Be the not the exception, but the rule, right? So I've always done that, and I feel it's in my DNA and in my spirit to always want to give. It just is. And I think I'm over giving all the time because I'm looking for value in that.
Yeah, the validation comes from giving, but also being needed.
Exactly.
Being needed, like that comes with a certain level of power, certain level of appreciation,
Absolutely.
certain level of control. And if you're not in a position to give without needing something back, then you're practicing a principle that's going to fail you. It's going to benefit everybody around you. They can count on you, they can rely on you, they can come to you in
Always.
need, but you're the one that's left at the end of the month trying to reconcile all of what you've expended. So my advice, Nicole, would be for you to sit in the uncomfortable feeling, that feeling that comes up when there's an opportunity to give or do more than, like you said, they haven't even asked you. Sitting with that and exploring what else is coming up. We talked about it earlier with nervous systems and just with childhood patterns. That's not what this show is about. It's about your worthiness is tied to a pattern that you created and you and you alone can break because you've created a belief system that you are not worthy. You are not valuable if you're not doing for people or giving for people. And also, you're still trying to reconcile whether or not you're good enough, whether or not my services are good enough. Can I compete with other stylists? Can I,
Be in the same room with business owners, that are doing great things. Yeah, absolutely.
so you're overcompensating for that insecurity. And there's an opportunity for you to sit in that and do that work so that the reward is the payoff, like literally the payoff, the money. Oftentimes women who are struggling with this type of self-worth issue, they are depleted financially, and although they share it, they're sharing it not from a place of power, where there's a true plan behind that. You are a warrior. You are someone who has built this business, stuck into this industry. You know what you're doing, but because your bank account looks a certain way, it's developed an insecurity. We have all been there. You made a pivot, you did something differently, it depleted your finances, but it did not mean that you were starting over from the industrial knowledge that you have being in this space. Bigger than that, your value is tied to your profession. Let me say that again. Your value is tied to what you do, not who you are. If I met you, I did meet you, a complete stranger, within 30 seconds of meeting you. I'm a stylist, I do this, I could do this, I could, all of these, tabs of titles. They don't get to meet Nicole and who you are. So that a lot of richness exists in that moment right before you give in to that temptation to give others away something that you say is valuable. You're not treating it as if it is. If it is as valuable as you believe it is, then it should not be relinquished so freely. The advice, hey, let me show you how to do this real quick with your makeup. Every time I've seen you, you've done that to me. And I'm like, no, not until she offers. She sends me an offer and says, hey, India, it's $400 to do my makeup. There are women out here that want to pay you. I know that seems foreign because where you are with it or who you've been surrounded by, they are not those type of people. But when you get to this place of alignment where you have to keep the currency flowing, to keep your abundance flowing, you cannot accept favors. You cannot accept shortcuts when it comes to the finance. You got to pay to play. And if you don't have the money, that really separates the haves and the have-nots at this level of worthiness. If you say you're worth it, then you have to put your money where your mouth is. It took me 2.5 years to master my makeup look that y'all see today. I took classes. I didn't want to look like everybody else. I didn't want to, imitate what's fashionable or what's popular. You've got to truly invest the time, the money, the resources. And if you are the resource, you've got to charge accordingly. So if you're saying it's valuable, but you are questioning whether or not you believe it, it's going to show up in how you behave.
I definitely believe I am valuable and my resources are valuable. The thing is, where I'm finding the shortcoming is that I'm pouring into people and I'm getting slapped in the face, when I'm calling them to pour back into me or show up for me or refer me or put my name in rooms. So that's where I'm struggling with. So kind of like having discernment and figuring out who should I be giving to and how I should be giving.
Yeah, I want to give you a tool and a strategy because that's what the show's about, and that's going to benefit you more than just telling you what to do. I want to give you the tool.
Okay.
The problem isn't you giving to people. You're not. I know the first thought, I felt it. The first thought is not she's giving to the wrong people. That's not it. That's not it. We don't just go and look at people's purses and their shoes and say, oh, she's got money, I'm going to give to her. That's not the strategy. Right. The strategy is when you sit down for coffee, one, have you qualified even for yourself what you need? Have you qualified it? Have you said, I need 10 clients this month? Have you qualified it? Are you approaching it with a plan? And then have you created the avatar for that plan? Okay, I've got 10, I've got a goal of 10 clients this month. And I know from my experience that most of my clients come from referrals from these type of sources. So I'm going to spend my time wisely and I'm going to give something. Like I said, the principle that you're doing is not the wrong principle. In business, you do give to get. It's a freebie. You have to establish trust. You have to give something valuable. But if I'm not in the business of referring hair clients, you know where those clients come from. And what you've done is you've cast a wide net to just help everybody when you can be very strategic about helping the people that can help you. They have the capacity. So approaching it with that strategy of first clarifying, what do you need? What is the resource that you need, and what's your plan to get it? And I promise you, if you approach those conversations and those opportunities to give in that way, then the people that you're giving to would automatically say, "Hey, Nicole, I can't help you. That's not something I have the capacity to do, or I do have the capacity to do this, or I know somebody that has the capacity."
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's a marketing strategy. Like, you've got to be very specific about who your sales avatar is and who you're giving it to. And that's tied back to self-worth. You know this is valuable. You know that you know that you know that you do a good job. Okay? But it ties back to being very selfish, and I know that that is a bad word. We shouldn't say it, but very selfish about what you're trying to accomplish on the short term and the long term. And then you're responsible for the plan. And right now you're passing that plan on to others, saying, "Hey, I'm just doing nice things. There's no rhyme or reason for it. But if I just keep going and I do it, then somebody will be good natured just like me," and you will. But you're playing the odds. You are doing guerrilla marketing, and that is very expensive. You waste a lot of materials and a lot of time doing that, when you could be very specific. And again, if when you hone in on that belief and that discomfort of redefining what's valuable in this season, is it how much money you're making? Is it how good of a stylist you are? Or is it, you like making people feel beautiful? And lead with that. And you're valuable just in being that. You exude it. You're beautiful. You show up every time, 10 stars in every category. So leading with not having to define how valuable you are based on what you charge or what you make, and just really why you do what you do.
Exactly.
How's that land for you?
I love to hear that, because that is my purpose. I don't do it just for the dollars. I do it because it really fulfills me. And taking on the venture of owning the salon was never in my trajectory, but it is definitely humbled me. It has given me a different purpose, right, to help women in a different way. So I love hearing all the feedback. I think you're right. I do need to be a little bit more selfish and learn how to say no, or be selective in my yes.
Yes, and what comes to mind, you're talking to somebody who has over 25 years of sales experience, coupled with self-worth. Where self-worth shows up with people that don't like sales is you won't ever make the ask. You won't ever make the ask. You keep trying to earn your way in to a relationship with them before you have to make the ask, when the actual strategy is making the ask first. As soon as I meet you, Nicole, I need $1,000 for this coaching program. Within the first 30 minutes of meeting you, I'm not going to befriend you. I'm definitely not going to take you out to eat. I'm not going to do all the things that typical sleazy salespeople do. I want you to know exactly why I'm talking to you. I'm not going to sell on price. I'm not going to my price because I know how valuable it is. I'm going to sell on value. That you can go to 20 other coaches, but you're going to go through their course, their program, and you're still going to be there 6 weeks later.
And I've done
Question,
that
you know what I'm saying? Here it is. I'm linking arms with you, but that doesn't require experience as much as it requires courage. Courage to first admit to yourself what you need, and then have an honest conversation with your support system of like, "Hey, ladies, gentlemen, can you or can you not help me with this? This is where I want to be this time next year." And if they can't, then you've got to do the work of sourcing and resourcing yourself with better, connections for business goals. This is not, the topic of self-worth transcends business, because I promise you it's showing up in other areas of your life as well. Okay? So you don't have to be validated by how much money you make, how good you are at something or not. You don't have to earn, your right to do a good job and prove it, like, "Hey, let me show you first and then you're going to pay me." No. No, I'm not going to show you how good of a stylist I am first and hope you pay me after I do the service. You've got to be in the market of the women that are doing that, and that comes with you having the courage to ask, "Hey, are you looking for a hairstylist? How's your relationship with your current stylist? Would you be open to coming and trying something new?" Okay? You don't have to give them advice. You don't have to do all that. So we can go on and on about this. I'm very passionate about it because I want to see my ladies making money. I really do. I want to see y'all resourced and sourced financially as well. But it starts with what you have formulated as a belief And that's where the value and the worthiness is, okay? Before I let you go, would you like to share anything? I know we talked a lot about your business. Is there anything else you got going on that we can support
You
support you
know,
in?
right now we're just not reinventing, but we're changing the culture at the salon. I have some vacancies, and I'm just looking for the right beauty professionals to come and rent so that we can continue to empower, and continue to motivate and create beauty for everyone.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here, Nicole.
Thank you
Thank you
for
for your
having me.
courage.